All right. I think we should be live already. Let me check 1 second. Okay. It seems that we are live. Yes, and I can see the first people coming in. Hello, everyone. From wherever you are watching, I would say we can wait another minute or two to give people the chance to join us, but all the announcements are out. And we are going to start in a second. Guys, give us a minute or two if you already joined us. We're just giving some people the chance to join in as well, and then we're ready to go. Hello, Peter, or Deepen Pete, whatever you want to be called. Okay, let me check one more thing, and then I would say we are ready to get started. One second, guys. Yes. Okay, it seems that we are live on all the channels, which is good. So it seems to be working. Well, for everybody being here for the first time, welcome to the 8th onocoy monthly AMA recap session, whatever you want to call it. 8th, if you have been counting very thoroughly, you might have noticed that actually it's the 9th, but we don't count the one that we did post TGE directly because it was a special occasion. So we're back with the regular rhythm now on a monthly basis. So yeah, to give everyone an update on how these sessions are working for everybody joining in for the first time. I see some people actually in the chat. I think I haven't seen you guys before, so that's cool. Welcome. To give you a feeling for what we're actually going to do, we're going to have roughly 1 hour with a, well, as the title says, monthly recap and AMA session. The idea behind this rhythm is that, first of all, we have some topics that we want to talk about from our perspective, which we want to share with you. And in the meantime, or at any given point in time, you guys can ask questions in the chat. Wherever you are, if you're on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, or also in the Discord, and we can see your questions, and we will then try to answer your questions at the right point in time. Meaning that if your question is related to what we are currently talking about, we will try and answer it immediately. If your question is maybe more related to a topic that we will talk about later, or if you ask it at the end, we will answer it whenever it works. Now, before we get started, just a rough overview on the different topics that we're going to talk about today, and then we have short introductions from everybody here, just in case you haven't met us so far. So we will be talking about a update on the ONO token. We will be talking about an update on the features and functionalities. We will be talking about an update on the business side of things, and also we will be talking about another update on the community side of things. So it's a lot of updates this time, which is a good thing because things are moving forward. And I would say, Danny, maybe you can start and give a short introduction on who you are in case anybody doesn't know you.
Sure. I'm Daniel. I'm the initiator of the onocoy project. Have been in the satellite navigation industry for probably close to 30 years now. And onocoy is sort of my third project in that industry. At onocoy, besides being the initiator, I'm mostly looking after the mid-long-term strategy, the fundraising, but I'm also quite technical. So part of the technical work is coordinated and done by me. That's me.
Perfect.
Over to Tommy.
I would say so too.
All right, I'm Tommy. I'm also a veteran of the GPS/GNSS industry, not quite 30, but exceeded now 25 years as well. I'm at onocoy looking more after commercial and organizational topics that included also the TGE. And yeah, the one thing I'm certainly not doing is I'm certainly not writing any code.
That's totally fine. There's other people for that. Lucy,
Absolutely.
Hey everyone, my name is Lucy. I specialize in GNSS and I have met Danny 3 years ago now already, and soon after joined onocoy. And yeah, so at onocoy I work mostly on product marketing and application engineering.
Perfect. Well, then I would say we can get started right away. And the first topic on the agenda for today is an update on the ONO token, and that is covered by you, Tommy. So give us all the insights.
All the insights. Okay, that's an ambitious goal, but I try hard. So what we've done since the last time, we've tried to list the ONO on all relevant listing pages. And we are now listed on many of them, but it has proven to be a much more tedious job than I would have thought. So while we're now listed as a token, the token economy or the circulating supply, etc., is normally incorrectly depicted. And that's what we're trying to address now. It looks like we have to provide some APIs for these listing pages to get that correctly. It's too complex with all the locked tokens, etc. So on some exchanges, you will find that our market cap equals the FDB, which by definition is obviously nonsense. In others, it's 50% of the FDB, which is in equal nonsense, because we know that after 1 year, only about 20% of the tokens are unlocked. So we're an infrastructure project, so there is this long thing. So it's work in progress, and hopefully next month I can say that the data are much more realistic. Nonetheless, the token can be found, it's displayed, so at least that gives us some coverage.
And we also know, just a side comment, we have all the platforms that we currently have ONO listed on our website and also on our documentation. So if you want to find a safe link to go to, you can just find it on the onocoy web pages.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So what we've also done is we have analyzed what trading we see for the token. And there are a few recognitions now that we have been traded for more than a month. If we look, well, first, the market or the trading is still on a relatively small level, which doesn't completely surprises us, given that we're an infrastructure project that builds momentum slowly. But there is trading, and we see that the majority of the sell pressure come from miners. However, and that's the interesting part, it's mostly the Web2 miners. So people more from the GPS industry, not so much from the Web3 industry. And we have now tackled that, and we have spoken to them. And it looks as if there is a lack of understanding on how this really works, how a deflationary token model works, what the impact of hodling is, etc. In talking and explaining to them, I have seen people that suddenly realized how this works and stopped trading. But we have a number of larger networks more Web2 people that have sold a substantial amount of tokens. We're addressing that, and the conclusion we're taking here is that we have to explain our story and how the tokenomics works and how you build such a token economy much better to this part of the stakeholders. If we look at the buy pressure, then this is typically from people out of the DePIN space. And that's also interesting because it tells us that the storytelling to this part of the market has worked very well. So rather than selling tokens, they hodl tokens and or buy additional tokens. So these people have received and responded well to our story. So that's something to build on. So we reinforce that, obviously, while we clearly have a task to talk to the GPS industry or people with a more GPS GNSS industry in explaining how this works.
Yeah.
We also looked at how well our Bono to Ono conversion tool has worked, or in other words, how many Bonos have been converted. And exactly 1 month after TGE, 11.4% of the Bonos have been turned into Onos. That's matching our expectation. Although we were rather unsure, but this is pretty much on the base scenario we modeled in the background, and that's positive. That also means that people realize that the longer they wait with the conversion, the more onus they get. And yes, so that's good. Given that 10% of or 11% of the bonus have already been converted, the supply went down, and or the circulating supply of bonus went down, which improves the exchange rate. So on average, people converting today already profit from 10% improvements over a month ago. So we generally take this positive and think it has worked out the way we anticipated it would work. But needless to say, we still reinforce the message and will communicate this across all channels. The longer you, as a miner, wait, the more you profit. So the message holds.
Yes.
Maybe two, three additional smaller things. We have started with some buybacks. It's on a relatively moderate level, so it's not the dominant factor on the economy, but we have started doing this as we hinted prior to TG. What we have not yet started is burning some of these tokens, but this is planned, and it's likely to start within days.
Oh.
So yes, so here we are on track in doing what we hinted at. As said before, we cannot commit on any certain level or make commitments for regulatory reasons, but we understand that this is not irrelevant for the long-term NPV of the tokenomics, and hence for the token price. And this brings us the deflationary element. But yes, it will take time to really kick in massive volumes. We also look at the Dune dashboard. It's not yet implemented, but we're working out how to do this best, and then what exactly to display. So this will also come.
Yeah.
Clearly, we want to show this transparency of what goes on in our tokenomics, and you, as a dear partner of onocoy, should be aware of what's going on.
Yeah, and I think also there is another API endpoint being created for
the Mocken. That's more
exactly.
that's for the mining side, indeed. This is already well in implementation. I don't have the exact rollout date, but yes, it's work in progress. You're right.
Okay. Anything else that you didn't talk about which was still on your list?
No, I think that's the things I wanted. And if there are questions, I'm around
so far I don't see
to
any,
answer.
so all good. Yeah. Okay, all right. Then I can hand over directly to you, Danny.
Sure. I want to briefly talk about two features that we're working on, which is relevant to the miners. So I would assume most of you in this AMA are working on the mining side of things. And the two things are, the one is the high value area and the other one is the streak appreciation. They're linked to some extent. But in a nutshell, what we like to do is we like to solve the problem that keeps popping up also in the community discussions on how do we ensure that somebody who has been earlier gets a sort of a protection, but in a way that is not purely I've been first, now I get everything and nobody else gets anything way, but something which is also in the interest of the miners. Dominic, would you mind muting yourself? We hear your keyboard loud and clear. So streak appreciation works such that if somebody starts mining, we count the number of days where the availability and the quality is about certain levels. And as that streak continues, we keep increasing the rewards. So the daily rewards will get more and more and more day by day, as long as you are on that streak. And what we're measuring for a streak is things like the quality of the data, the availability of the data, the uptimes, and such things. So small interruptions will not break a streak, but larger interruptions, hours of downtime and such would. And if in case a streak is broken, there will be a certain reset, but it's not going to go to zero. So anyone who starts early will have an advantage as long as the stream is available. And we believe that's a fair, reasonable approach, as opposed to just having a NFT, for example, which you've been the first and you keep this under certain criteria. Here we have a streak appreciation that also matches if several other people come into the network and do a reasonably good job.
Yeah.
Now that feature is has been in the works since many weeks already. It's relatively complex to implement and especially to visualize. How do you see where you are on your streak and how do you go forward? But we believe it's only a matter of a few weeks until we can roll that out. So I believe by the next AMA, we can talk in detail how this looks and how it works and what the parameters are. And with that, I think we have a good answer that or answers that question of how can I protect myself if I've been first, while still keeping the flexibility if that station would disappear or would deteriorate over time and some other station is doing a significantly better job in that area.
Yeah.
The other part is similar but different. The high value areas, that's more a orchestrated way by us, respectively by the demand side, to stimulate growth of the network in areas where we see demand. There are several of our clients, of the paying customers in the network, who give us clear indications on where would they really want to see additional stations, because that's where they want to make more business, where they need to densify their own networks. And for that, we are building an environment where this is more automated. We've done first tests in Southeast Asia. We talked about the Southeast Asia campaign a while ago. That was more behind the scenes. It was not really visible in the platform, but we will roll that out in a way that there is clearly a list of where are those high value areas, what is the budget for those, what is the runtime of those, so that people see the multipliers that we apply for certain amounts of time. We even want to take it to a level where the demand side, so the clients, where they can give out bounties in certain areas, so then the additional rewards would come from them in order to foster certain regions. So not only centralized organized in a centralized way where we say in country X and Y we should grow, but also that where individuals and companies can push that forward. And we think that's a good step also towards decentralizing the network growth, which currently is rather centralized. Like, for example, we said Southeast Asia is interesting because we get a lot of demand from there. We can take this further. We can have the community, also the demand side community, participate in that. So that's in a nutshell what we're working on. As I said, it's probably a few weeks out. I would hope that by the next AMA we have this all up and ready and running, and then we can also show how this what the look and feel is and talk about the details. Just reading through questions. Okay, somebody's loading the streak. All right. And
I didn't see any questions specifically.
Yes.
Yeah. More comments.
Yes. So that's one of the main features that we work on. We work on several other things, but rather minor ones that we will talk about once we have them. But the big thing, especially for the mining community, is high value areas and streak appreciation.
Yes, the X chat works. We can see you. Simon commented on there. Okay, anything else, Danny?
Not on the feature update, but I could start with a quick update on the business side of things.
Yeah.
So just a quick recap on how our business works. On the mining side, you all know about this, and we just talked about it, the rewarding and streak appreciation and such things. But the demand side is typically such that people buy data credits. So that's like a second token that we issue, that we mint. If somebody comes with fiat, with dollars or something, they get credited a number of data credits, and these data credits they then can consume as they use the service. So it's on a epoch basis. Those data credits are being deducted from their wallets, and if they run out of data credits, then they need to buy new ones. And that's the whole demand side part of our equation. And we had the first service out already in August, about a year ago, for individuals who have a single data stream that they need because they have a tractor or they have a drone where they use that, and people are actively using the network. But we've seen also earlier this year that rather bulk users are interested in our service. That was always the main target, people who want to consume not one stream, but then they want to consume 100 streams or even 1,000 streams on a 24/7 basis. And we had first clients coming into the system, and we now have paying customers. For this, we have worked out a business model where a data credit is no longer fixed to a dollar value. It still is, but we give heavy rebates if somebody buys large amounts of data credits. Say if somebody consumes 100 streams and he pays for those data credits upfront, then he doesn't pay 100 times the price of one data stream, but he pays like, I don't know the exact numbers, but he pays like 70 times instead of 100. So volume discounts. So the more people buy upfront, the higher the discount is, which I think is in everybody's interest. So we get the data credits, and with that, we get the fiat, they get the data credits cheaper. And with the fiat that we get, we can then do the buyback and burn that Tommy just talked about earlier. And also then, once we're ready with that, talk about the usage rewards associated with that. This is not visible yet on the platform. We'd like to have a table where people can, a calculator of sorts, where they can sketch their usage patterns and then see what is the most economical way for them, so that they see also the discounts that we apply. But in the background, with the first clients, in a more traditional way, so with paper contracts, we already sold data credits giving such discounts. So we have a clear understanding of what discounts would we like to apply, and how does that work, and we roll this out so that we can make the whole system more scalable, so that we can not only sell this to 3 or 4 major accounts, but to anyone in the industry who likes to consume in bulk, because ultimately that's what's going to give the big growth in our network. Bulk users, B2B clients that want to extend their own network that they already have.
Yeah.
And on that front, one more thing, we just are closing a new significant contract with an existing correction service provider, the company who is providing a service. I cannot tell the name because this is under NDA, but a company which already operates a network in a country, and they'd like to go to another continent, and they'd like onocoy to be the partner of choice for that continent to consume data from. It's a massive contract. It's going to boost the project significantly, not immediately, but over time they ramp up step by step. Every month we assume they're going to consume more and more streams, ultimately resulting in hundreds, if not thousands, of parallel streams that they consume. We've tested the platform with them a while ago. It's been quite a good stress test for our system. And finally, we bring this also into a contractual form where they bring value into a network, and that value that is then being shared in the form of ONO value appreciation. I think that's it on the business side of things. So good momentum, many good things in the pipeline, and working on that day by day to bring on more usage into our system.
Sounds good. Thank you very much for that. And we haven't had any question comment in the meantime. So Lucy, feel free to take it.
Yeah, sure. So the clients Danny mentioned, of course, would like to stream from stations. And this is a very important part of the network, the growth of stations. And we have, in fact, seen that since TGE, so since around a month ago, our network growth has approximately doubled, which is great news. So I can say that there's not one specific country where the growth has been picking up, but it has really been widespread. We have countries like USA, France, Argentina, Australia, where the growth has really been picking up, but also we have countries where before we had really few stations, now have more. So this is really nice to see. We also have to say that we did lose some stations from institutions, or from one institution specifically. These luckily were older and lower quality stations, so it's not a big loss. However, it's in the numbers, of course. But what we're not also trying to do is to get the renewed version of those back into the system. So that means that we would have a higher quality stations instead of the old lower ones we lost. So this would be great to have them back. And yeah, we also have plans to meet people in real life. We are going to 2 different trade shows in the next 2 months, one of which is the so-called ION GNSS Plus. It's a conference organized by the Institute of Navigation. Usually there are a lot of scientists and engineers, so we hope to meet potential clients there from big companies that need to have station data. And the second trade show that we're going to is the Intergeo. This one is in Frankfurt in October. This is a trade show for the whole geospatial industry. So there's going to be companies that have drones, surveying equipment, all sorts of satellite images, and of course then also GNSS applications. And that's why we are participating. And what I'm also going to do is to invite everybody later in our social media to join us and meet us at Intergeo, because we will be giving away free tickets for it. So yeah, you're welcome to visit our booth at the Intergeo in Frankfurt, Germany.
Just to add, the ION GNSS is in Baltimore. So if you're in the US East Coast, stop by. We can have a chat. I think the exhibition floor is accessible. And I'm not sure, or we can meet in the lobby if you ping us any point in time. I'm happy to catch up. If you're in the GNSS industry, it's anyhow worth going to the ION GNSS. And it's also worth going because Lucy will be there. I will be there, so we can have a chat. Actually, Lucy and me, we met at ION GNSS 3 years ago. And that conference is responsible for us teaming up here and now. So it's a really good industry gathering and a really cool place to get the latest, greatest on various GPS technology going.
And or Danny probably will have a presentation together with EOBlocks. That's the leading GPS or one of the leading GPS GNSS receiver supplier. They also have a correction service. So you will see how this onocoy works with such a company. And I think that's also noteworthy.
All right. Anything else from your end, Lucy?
I also want to announce that we have new partnerships coming in. So we are going to have 2 additional hardware partnerships. I cannot announce them right now, but we already tested the devices and they're very high quality, and we really cannot wait until these will go onto the market, because I think these will be very interesting to the mining community. So we will announce them shortly. And another partnership is what we already announced, is with WeatherXM. So WeatherXM is a network of weather stations. They sell the weather data of their DPIN stations, and what is essentially combines us is that we both need to put these stations up on the roof. So our stations and the WeatherXM stations need to have a clear view of the sky. And this brings some synergies. And also, actually, you can analyze GNSS data coming from onocoy stations, for example, to make some weather predictions. So there's a lot of synergies, and I would recommend to keep in the know, because we are planning on something more there in this regard.
Yes, I think more details will be announced as soon as we can, because it's quite exciting what's going on there. Okay, then there haven't been any questions as well. It's a quiet one today, but that's actually okay. Maybe people are still on summer holidays, could be, at least in Central Europe or in Europe overall. It's a lot of people on summer holidays, so that's fine. One more thing that I wanted to mention from the community side of things, we made some minor adjustments in the Discord and cleaned up some of the channels. And with that, there is specifically a new, channel. Formally, it's a forum, actually. That's what Discord calls it. It is below the hardware partners category, and it's called Get Miner Hardware, because we felt that the hardware partners and also their hardware and the differentiation between how they actually work and what is additionally required, and how all of that works and how the installation guide works and everything, is something that should be represented more also on the Discord side of things. So if you are in the server and you haven't seen that yet, feel free to interact, feel free to check it out. We added our current hardware suppliers in there with images, with all the links, with everything that you need. So yeah, if you're not yet a miner, that might also be a good way to figure out which piece of hardware you would actually want. And if you already are, you can always get a second one. So this was some of the changes in the Discord server. And to be honest, that is about it. We haven't had questions, which is, as said, totally fine. So there is nothing that we missed for today. And we're 34 minutes in. Usually we take much longer, but I think it's okay. Gives us a bit more time to work. But been a pleasure. Thank you guys very much for being here again. Thank you for everybody in the audience for joining us. And looking forward to the next AMA and monthly recap number 9, which will be coming in roughly a month. And until then, stay tuned, stay up to date, interact with us on our socials. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.